Are you trying to succeed but find yourself running into the exact same blocks? Today, what I'm going to share with you is 7 blocks that might be preventing you from success, as well as the 7 solutions so you can bust down those blocks and finally reach your success. All right, welcome back. If there's something that you want to do in your life or your business or a success that you see yourself having, but every time you try to go after it, there's something that gets in your way, or there's some reason that it can't happen, or there's some excuse and this, that, and the other, then you're going to love this video, because today I'm sharing with you 7 common blocks that I find my clients that I've run into as well in the past, and the 7 ways to defeat those blocks, to bust down those blocks, to break them down. I'm going to give you practical action steps. So let's start with the very first one. It's the most common one that I see, which is self-sabotage. Now, self-sabotage is a big one because sometimes there are subconscious blocks going into self-sabotage that are going to prevent you from doing those things. And I did create an entirely different video on how to reprogram your subconscious mind that I recommend that you watch. And I did create an entirely different video on how to reprogram your subconscious mind. I recommend that you watch that video because it's really going to help you with self-sabotage. But today what I want to do is I want to give you the practical behind what to do if you feel like self-sabotage is in your way. So how does self-sabotage show up? A lot of times it shows up in us not taking the decision or doing the thing that we know is going to be right for us, but for some reason we avoid it, or we know that, we need to do this many phone calls in order to reach our goals, but we decide to shut off our booking calendar, or we know that we've got to make this many sales, but we actually don't reach out to somebody in order to make that sale. So there's a lot of ways that self-sabotage shows up. Sometimes shows up in the matter of like, you were supposed to spend money on this, but you spent all your money here and now you can't spend it there. And there's just a lot of different ways that self-sabotage shows up. So how can you bust this block? What are the practical things that you can do in order to break down this block? The first is to understand that behind self-sabotage is a belief that you are not worth it. You're not worth that goal. You're not deserving of that goal. And that's why you'll end up self-sabotaging. Now, once again, in my video on how to reprogram your subconscious mind, you can quickly and instantly change that belief that you're not worth it into a more empowering statement. But here's one way that you can do it as well. I want you to take some time and write out all of the reasons that you love yourself and why you deserve to reach these goals. Inside of many of my coaching programs, that's typically what we start with. We usually start with some sort of goal statement or affirmation or reason that we want to reach the goal, a reason that we deserve to reach the goal. And the reason that I do that and why I have my clients start that way is because if you believe that you are worthy of the goal and you believe that you deserve that goal and you love yourself enough to allow yourself to reach that goal, you'll prevent one of these, this big block, which is self-sabotage. The second block that could be preventing you from reaching the success that you want is imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is feeling like, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be in this room with all these other successful people, or everyone else looks like this, but I look like this. And that means that I can't be there, or everyone else earns this much and I earn this much. And so that means that I shouldn't be there, or everyone else has this type of experience and I only have this type of experience. So that means that I shouldn't be there. It comes down to you comparing yourself with others and feeling inadequate for any number of reasons. And the truth is that those reasons are unfounded. You absolutely deserve to be doing what you do. You know that you have a skill and a talent and you're able to help clients get a transformation. So there's no reason to be unsure or be doubtful of the fact that you deserve to be here. You absolutely deserve to be doing what you're doing. And I'll give you a hint. Everybody else doesn't really know what they're doing. They might seem that they have all the answers, but there's no one that really has all the answers. We're all just learning as we go. That's what life is all about. So how can you bust through the block of imposter syndrome? What I'd like for you to do is start writing down all of your accomplishments as if you had to prove to someone that you're good at what you do. I recently did this with a client where she had to write out all of her accomplishments, things that she's been able to do. And as we started going through all these accomplishments, she realized that she's pretty freaking awesome. She's done so many things and she's been able to overcome so many different obstacles in her life. And none of that would have been possible if she didn't have the skills and the talent to do that. So it's definitely one of those things that you've got to learn how to do. You've got to be able to write out and be able to speak to why you're awesome and why you're good. That's one of the first assignments that we do inside of You've Got Clients, which is my signature group coaching program. Inside of You've Got Clients, the very first thing that we do is help you get that confidence and the reason that you are the sugar honey iced tea. Like, why are you better at anybody else at what you do? Why are you confident even without comparing? Why are you confident in yourself and what you do? And that assignment has been one of the most popular assignments in that program. And it really helps my clients to get over that fear of imposter syndrome and bust through that block. The next block that I find common among clients who are not getting the success that they want is the start-stop block. And what this looks like is you start something over here and then you stop. And then you start something else over here and then you stop. And then you start and you never actually finish anything. And this is a big problem because if you keep starting stuff but you never finish anything, well, everything's just going to be in a state of undoneness and you never will actually finish something to completion. This is a block that I have had for myself in the past, and I've had to really focus. And I would love to share with you how you can break down the word focus. You can break down the word focus into follow one course until successful. And that means just sticking on your path, starting something, finishing it, seeing it through, and then seeing what the data tells you. Let's see, what are the results from this? Do I need to continue doing it? Should I duplicate it or should I not do it at all? But if you stop something before you even finish it, you can't really evaluate whether it actually worked or not for you. In order to bust through this block, what you've got to do is choose your non-negotiable time of the day that you're going to actually work on what you're doing. And then at the start of the day, write down what would make this day a success. Today, I'm going to work on this piece, and this piece is going to help me move forward towards this bigger goal. So what I did is I started writing down every single day. I would write down my one big goal for the quarter. So I would say, this quarter I want to, for example, fill my group coaching program with this many clients. And then I broke down, okay, what are the individual things I need to do in order to make that happen? And I thought, okay, well, I need to create an email sequence and I need to host a webinar and I need to set up an ad. And so each day, if I wasn't working on something that specifically helped me move closer to one of those things, then I knew it wasn't helping me to reach that ultimate goal and that I wasn't focusing. I wasn't following one course until successful. And it was a lot easier for me to stop doing the things that were wasting my time because I realized, okay, this is not actually helping me. And I was able to bust through that start-stop block. The next one is a big one, and the block is self-doubt. Self-doubt rears its ugly head when we maybe start doing something or we're going after a dream or we start a business or start coaching and then we start thinking, okay, can I really do this? Am I really cut out for this? Is this something that's really right for me? And that self-doubt can prevent you from actually moving forward, from doing what you know you need to be doing and helping the clients you need to help. So how do you bust through this block? Well, it's very simple. Write down every single doubt and then think of a time, at least one time in your life where that doubt was not true. For example, if you have the doubt of no one actually wants to work with me or something like that, then think of a time in your life when you were maybe picked for the kickball team or maybe someone asked you to be in their group in school or you were asked someone asked you to marry them. Like that means that someone actually wants to work with you, right? Marriage is work. That means that someone actually wants to work with you. And because it's true in that one instance, that means it's true. Something that is true is true, is true, is true. That's the reason the statement a rose is a rose is a rose is true, because a rose is a rose is a rose, and it's true in every instance. This next one is good. It's the fear of greatness. Now, this is a big fear that you might not realize that you have, but if you have this block and you're scared of greatness, what you will do is you will play small. And what does that mean by playing small? Well, you won't go after the bigger deals. You won't put yourself out there the way you know you should. You'll stay in your corner. You'll stay in your bubble and you won't reach that pinnacle and you won't be reaching your full potential, and you'll feel it and you'll know. And what happens is you'll start feeling jealous of other people. You'll start comparing yourself to other people. You'll start feeling like, am I really cut out to be here? So it starts combining with some of the other blocks. You'll stop. You'll, have that imposter syndrome. But really what you're scared of is really playing to your full potential, reaching your full potential. And that's called fear of greatness. I did this one exercise during a retreat, and it was just very, very powerful for me. And what we had to do was we had to write down someone we admire and respect and write out their characteristics. Then after we wrote out those characteristics, the facilitator said, whatever you wrote down, that's what you have inside of you. And the only reason you're able to see it is because you have those traits as well. And I remember reading it and almost coming to tears because there was someone I really, really admire and respect. And I wrote down all the reasons I admire and respect her. And when she said that, I was like, oh, I have that in me. And it rang true for me. And I was like, yes, I do. Like, this is why I'm great. This is why I'm awesome. This is why I'm good at what I do, and I need to just keep moving forward. And after I realized that and I busted through that block of that fear of greatness, that's when I set my revenue goals that much higher. That's when I started going after everything I knew already had my name on it. That's when things really started coming together for me. And it was that busting that block of that fear of greatness. The next block is fear of failure. So this is sort of the other side of the coin. If you are scared of greatness, you will prevent yourself from success, but also if you're scared of failure. And I see this a lot with my clients. And a lot of times what I have to do is remind them that it's never going to be perfect out the gate. Even if it is, you won't know like why it was perfect. So I actually sort of prefer failing forward because then I know what to change, what to fix, what didn't work, so that the next time that I do it, I know, okay, this worked over here, so I'm going to test this over here first. The other thing I like to remind my clients of is perfection will kill your progress every single time. And I did an entire video on this and how this is the number one enemy of your success. Then remembering that every single thing that you do as a marketer is simply for you to test. So it's simply for you to see, what is the data telling me? If I launch this webinar and I get 10 people that showed up, even though 30 people signed up, well, that means 30% of the people showed up. Is that good? Is that bad? What do I have to compare it to? If I finish my webinar and I get 10 calls booked and I had 10 people on the webinar, well, that's a 100% rate. Like, is that good? Is that bad? And you've got to know what the data is telling you. So if you're fearing failure, then you've got to just get over that, because that data is going to show you exactly what you need to do next. And that's something that I share with my clients inside of You've Got Clients. So as we're going through creating their client gaining system, sometimes every single piece doesn't work right out the gate. Sometimes there's things that need to be changed and tweaked based on their specific audience, who they are, what they do, their marketing message. And so we just look at the numbers and we say, what are the numbers telling us? And then we know we can make that change. In order to bust through the block of fear of failure, I want you to actually write down the failure. So the thing that you're scared of, the thing that you're not sure of, is this how I'm going to fail? Write it down and then say, okay, let's say this happened, then what? So let's say you launch your group coaching program and nobody signs up. All right, then what? Like, are you going to die? Are you going to jail? Like, what's going to happen then? All right, I'm probably going to just reiterate and go back. And so as you write down, like, what is that failure? And then what happens? What are the consequences? You're able to see that much better. Like, typically it's just really not that serious. And now that you know that, okay, it failed, now you actually can take action. Most of the time, what people fear is the uncertainty and not knowing what to do next, which is why it's great to have a coach who can tell you, okay, this is what happened, and so this is what you do next. But once you get rid of that uncertainty and you know exactly what to do next, it's that much easier for you to move forward. The final block is addiction to struggle. Now, this one really hits close to home. I was addicted to struggle for a very long time in my life, where I, was living pretty much on the edge, not having the money that I needed to have, but then turning down job opportunities and just feeling like, it's such a struggle. It's such a struggle. And then one day I realized it doesn't have to be a struggle. And as soon as I realized that, wow, all of a sudden life was not a struggle. And that's what I'm here to tell you as well. It doesn't have to be a struggle. What if you just gave up the struggle? But sometimes that block is addiction to struggle, meaning that we actually like that struggle, or we enjoy it, or it makes us, feel some type of way. And so we're codependent on it. But it doesn't have to be a struggle. Life doesn't have to be a struggle. You can absolutely attract into your life everything that you want, and it doesn't have to be a struggle. So how do we bust through this block? One really good way that you can do this is to create a power playlist. What does this look like? So these are the songs that really get you hyped, get you in a great mood, the songs that you can identify with, that make you feel really good, that talk about success and talk about successful people. Like, those are the songs in your power playlist. So in my power playlist, a couple of examples of songs are a couple of Beyonce songs. So the Flawless song, and then the Blessing song by Big Sean, where he just talks about how I'm way up and I feel blessed. And those are some songs in my power playlist that I used to listen to every single day after I left the gym. And I also listen to often now, that really help me get hype, and they really help me to remember that none of this has to be a struggle. And then as you're listening to that playlist, I want you to think of times in your life when you received something and nothing was expected in return. I do talk about this a lot more in my Open to Receive program, because there are a lot of people who have a block around this being addicted to struggle. And because this is something that I overcame, I created an entire program called Open to Receive, which is a 14-day challenge. And in that challenge, we talked about, like, you've got things that they already have your name on it. Like, you have blessings that are waiting to come to you. But if you feel like you've got to give something in order to get it, which sometimes you really don't. Sometimes you don't have to be addicted to struggle. They just are waiting to come to you. You just have to be open to receive them. And once you get to that point, then you can stop being so addicted to struggle, and you can attract into your life all of the things that already have your name on it. All right. Did any of these blocks resonate with you? Are any of them some that maybe you've overcome? What are some things that you did in order to overcome these blocks? I look forward to hearing from you, and let's start the conversation in the comments. In the meantime, I'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Bye.